Have you ever been watching a show and there's a couple on screen, they're having a romantic moment, they're kissing, and then like 10 seconds later, they're falling into bed? And have you ever wondered, why don't I respond like that? Is that normal? Should I be ready to go in 10 seconds after kissing? We're going to talk about that today. This is the Road to Happiness podcast. We're your hosts, Josh and Cassie Spurlock. And our sponsor is My Counselor Online, leading provider in Christian counseling online. So I want to talk today about these different kinds of desires. Like there are actually multiple kinds of desires. There's initiating desire and there's receptive desire.
Yep. And most of us are very familiar with the initiating desire, right? And so initiating desire is what, when we think about desire, probably comes to your mind.
It's what we see happening in that moment on screen.
Yeah, it's in that moment where we are experiencing arousal, we feel horny, we're thinking about sex, we have a desire to pursue and connect sexually. And so that innate intrinsic drive kind of kicks in. And because of that, we reach out and we start pursuing connecting with our spouse. So it's that initiating desire that takes place. But like you said, it's actually more common for women to engage in what we call receptive desire. And receptive desire is the experience of when that desire, that innate interest in connecting sexually actually kicks in after we begin to connect, after we begin to kiss, after we begin to touch. And it's a subjective arousal that begins after the physiological arousal starts to kick in.
So to answer the question, is that normal? Yes, the answer is normal if you are not immediately ready to go, if you don't feel horny or wild or feral, and if you just feel responsive to what your spouse is bringing to you and using to connect with you.
It's true, and that's the more predominant or common kinds of arousal for women, but men experience this also. And it's actually really important for men to realize that, because men tend to think that there's only one kind of arousal. And if they're not thinking about sex, if they're not feeling turned on, if they're not feeling horny, then they feel like I can't engage. Like, I don't even know if things will work. I don't know if things, is it even possible for me to be able to connect sexually if I'm not feeling horny first? And the truth is you can. Like, men can experience receptive desire and respond to receptive desire, just as much as women can. And that's important for a give and take relationship where we both have freedom to initiate when we feel initiating desire and trust that our spouse, all things being equal, are going to be there for us and be responsive to our initiating and to our connecting, with an understanding that their body will respond and kind of catch up with the experience of the initiating spouse if they'll be open to that reality. And so when we both engage in both receptive and initiating desire and recognize our capacity for those things, then it produces a better love life for us.
Totally. I think something that has been interesting to me over the years to realize is that when I have a desire that feels like an initiating desire, it doesn't necessarily feel like horny or feral or I need to go right now, or I want to. Sometimes it's just a warmth or an appreciation, an openness, a desire to connect. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I know that this can be a connection opportunity for us, and I want to connect deeper.
Yeah, it's important to be aware of your own nuances, right? This is a part of knowing your body, knowing your experience, being tuned in to your own sexual response, because it's not the same for every person, and it's not the same season to season.
No, day to
situation
day.
situation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so that awareness and attuneness equips you to, press the accelerator when you are noticing kind of your arousal building or your interest kind of kicking in.
Yeah.
I think it's also interesting to note that there's lots of different reasons to connect.
Yeah.
Like Rosemary Bassan's a sex therapy researcher and has done a lot of research around the reasons why people connect sexually. And that initiating desire is really only one of a multitude of reasons why people may choose to connect. Sometimes people choose to connect sexually not because they're feeling horny, but because they just desire closeness
Yeah.
and connection. And that's legitimate.
Yeah.
Like it's valid to connect sexually with your spouse simply because you have a desire to share closeness and feel physical touch and have that warmth. Sometimes you engage again with that receptive desire, not because you're feeling initiating desire, but your spouse is. And it's a thing where you want to have fun and enjoy connecting with them. And there's healthy and unhealthy reasons that people connect, but there's a plethora of healthy reasons that doesn't have to fit within the small box sometimes that we put sexual response and desire in. And so, yeah, the more we understand our own desire, the more we understand our spouse's desire, the more we understand the spectrum of different experiences that people can have, really the better off we are. And it gives us a more robust sex life. And it, helps us understand that, if we don't experience desire as a positive thing, that we don't experience initiating desire ever. We're like, I never experienced initiating desire. And instead of being receptive and open, I find myself pulling back from my spouse's interests. There's a good chance that there's what we'd call a sexual aversion that has formed. That is, there's been a pairing of sex or sexual arousal or sexual being pursued sexually with something negative. Then no one ever has a desire for a poke in the eye. I mean, I don't, right? You never have this feeling like, you know what I could go for right now? A good poke in the eye.
I would really love some discomfort right
yes.
now.
A good poke in the eye would be, do just the trick of what I need in this moment. No.
Sometimes I want to go for a poke, but it's not in the eye.
Different things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All within the spectrum of
right.
plausible reasons to connect sexually. Oh, yeah.
Right on. So if we've experienced sex as not being pleasureful, we desire that which is pleasurable. You get a hankering for chocolate or for your favorite meal. It's because you enjoy eating it and you derive pleasure from consuming it. You don't get a hunger for or desire for something that you don't enjoy eating.
Yeah, you avoid it.
Yeah, you avoid it, right? And so sometimes a lack of desire has to do with either pain that we experience or just lack of pleasure when we connect, or emotional distress, emotional pain. And that has gotten paired with our sexual experience and really skews completely quashes our desire. These are really normal challenges.
Yeah, and it's our body's signal of something to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually really exciting because it gives us an opportunity to get curious about what's going on inside of us and what's going on between us, and then we can address it and engage it.
Yeah, that awareness and information is empowering, right?
Yes.
That it isn't just an annoying thing.
Yeah.
It's a purposeful thing. It's giving us information about our experience and telling us about things that maybe need healing, things that need to change or be different in our relationship, need to happen. But it's informing us in a way that's super helpful. Like, we don't want to ignore that information. We want to use that information to better our situation, better our relationship, better the dynamics between us. And it's part of the information dashboard that God has wired into our nervous system to help us be able to navigate life really well.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is really what chapter 9 of Feeling Sexy, of the book. That's what we're diving into. and unpacking today is the desires and the variety of kinds of desire we have, the things that get in the way of desires. And it's really setting us up for the conversation in the coming chapter around accelerators and brakes.
Which is such a fun chapter.
Yeah, and recognizing the things that shut down desire, the things that fuel desire, and the context and how it plays into it. So we're going to jump into that in our next episode. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you learned something. Hope that is encouraging to you, as Cassie and I are cheering you on as you mature into true happiness.